Guys, I'm not gonna lie, this table is absolutely terrible quality, but it'll do. We're currently sat in my studio and I'm gonna try over the new year kind of create this really nice space to like work from, to relax in, to do social media in. Speaking of the new year, the goal for today is to do a business plan for 2025. So if you've been around on the channel for a while, I shared last year's business plan for 2024. You can actually watch it here. Oh my gosh, this table has just literally broke. Like, I'm not kidding. Oh my god, the leg has just fell out. No, I'm not kidding, guys. Oh my god, it just literally fell out. I only had it a second. There's literally only one screw in that leg. I'm gonna have to bring my screws in. Yeah, don't recommend this table. Anyway, today I am going to do a full business plan for my business in 2025, and I've decided to show you exactly how you can create a business plan as well, so you can watch this video and see that it's not as intimidating as it originally seems. I remember when I first ever started my small business, the words business plan seemed so overwhelming to me. How am I going to even survive the week, let alone a year? How am I going to plan my business? But as I've got on in the business, I've realized it's not as intimidating and not as scary as it seems. And I also remember when I was first starting out, my original goal was just to make minimum wage, creating and doing things that I loved, creating art, selling art, commissions. And I didn't realize at the time, but I actually did have a business plan in my head. But when I searched online, there's a lot more videos now than there was back in the day, but it used to be like big millionaire entrepreneurs
talking about how you need to create a business plan and a revenue stream goal for the future, and
it was just so overwhelming. I was like, I am not this person. This is so confusing to me. But what I didn't actually realize is at the time in my head, I actually did have a business plan, and my business plan was simply make minimum wage, experiment, and find products that work. And that was the business plan. Like, literally, it's as simple as that. A business plan is literally just your plan for the business. But I do think it is actually important, especially now as we're growing here at Katnipp, to think of a plan of where we want to go and if we're heading in the right direction. So I'm hoping that with this video, you can watch me actively plan my business. You can take kind of what you find inspiring and what you think will work for you. I will say that this has took me 9 years to get to a point where I've started to plan like this. So I also don't want you to just come into this video and think,
oh my gosh, I need to have a Milano, I need to have a Notion, I need to have a planner, I need to have a calendar.
Because that is not how I started. I actually started with just a pen and a paper and a to-do list. In fact, I didn't even start with that. I didn't even do to-do lists back in the day because I used to find planning and organizing really stressful, and it's just not how my brain was wired. And I've had to learn over the years that it is actually quite crucial and important if you want to have a direction for your business and you want your business to grow. I'm going to head over to my Mac and let's get planning, shall we? My knees. I'm getting so old. Visualization is actually the first step I ever take before planning my whole year, in my case by mood boarding, because it allows me to visualize my year ahead, what I want it to look like and how I want to feel, and if it is pushing me forward towards my long-term vision. And that long-term vision for now could even be something like I just want to make minimum wage, for example, or I want 10 orders a week, I want 20 orders a week. It'll look different to you to what it does for me, but I originally started using just Pinterest, and I didn't actually realize that I was actually mood boarding at the time when I first ever discovered it years and years ago. But I still use this actively today. I use Pinterest pretty much daily, and I have different mood boards and pins which I found inspiring, which is basically like a mood board of how I would love my life and my business to look, because business and lifestyle is all encompassing. But 2 years ago I actually started mood boarding, like properly mood boarding, even down to what I wanted to wear and how I wanted to live, encompassing like a lifestyle. So I would take my inspiration off Instagram, Pinterest, and I would stick it all on a mood board. And now I do all of my mood boards on Milano, who have kindly sponsored today's video. Discovered them literally this year and it has been revolutionary. I have now slowly been transitioning everything to Milano. I actually decided when I was visualizing and planning out my year that I was going to block out the whole day to actually lay everything out, and I did it all in quarters and then yearly goals, and then I went into mood boarding, and mood boarding is really where the visualization like comes to life, and I could get all my inspiration from Pinterest, from my own images as well. I even used the little pen tool in Milanote and wrote like 2025, I did stars, and just genuinely wanted to create a vision board for what I wanted my year to look like. It's absolutely perfect for creatives like myself because it allows me to organise my ideas visually and in a way that makes sense for me personally, and I have just absolutely loved it, honestly. Planned out my mood board and then I ended up planning out my year. Now let me show you the final result. I can't believe it, but I finished my full plans for 2025 and I really love how it's turned out. So this is my homepage, and I've done the majority of my plans this year all in Milanote. Originally I did everything on my Notion, and since then I've been using a mix of Notion and Milanote, and I think I'll still use Notion for like sponsorships and stuff, but Milanote for me is so much more visual for kind of manifesting my goals and my dreams and putting it all together visually, and it's really easy to drag and drop things in. So this is my main board. When you click on Katnipp, I actually have another Milanote board called Catherine K, but this is my Katnipp one. Here I've organised it into years so you can go back and see my 2024. This is my 2025 board. I actually think it looks so pretty. So I've actually organised it in quarters, but we'll come to that in a little bit because the first thing that I did was my 2025 vision board, which is over here. This is really important to me. Like, the thing I realised whilst I was building out this vision board was how much I've managed over the years to actually manifest this. So I don't know if you can see, but a lot of my board is already Katnipp stuff. So now I feel like I'm in the era of going deeper with my own personal style and using myself as inspiration. Originally my vision boards used to be of other people's pictures and colours and themes that I wanted to visualise and manifest in my business or even my life. This is my 2025 vision board, and as you can see, we can already see loads of Katnippy stuff because I feel like I'm on the right path finally. This is the first year when I was doing this vision board, I was like, oh my gosh, I actually feel like all of the vision boards from the previous years are coming into fruition, and I love that I can do it on Milanote because I used to use different apps, but Milanote is perfect for it because I can keep it all together and tied in. So like obviously I can go back to my 2025 like this, click on my vision. It's just much more visually striking, and that is personally how I operate. I would always suggest before you start even planning out your business year, create a vision board of how you want that year to look. What do you want to manifest? So here I've got like orders, and I've got my Katnipp sticker on. I've got like cozy like aesthetic, even me wearing my cozy stuff because this is how I like to dress. This year I got my first ever bag charms, and I remember on my old vision board I would have like images like this that I got off Pinterest with bag charms on it, and now I've managed to do my own bag charm. So this is really diving into more of what I want to do and going deep with Katnipp, and then we've got my apparel illustration, and this is what I want to come forward in 2025. So it's really about diving even deeper into already what we're trying to do here at Katnipp. And I've also added text. You could have revenue goals. This is the first time I've ever done a revenue goal. I've never done a revenue goal before. This is very ambitious. I don't know if we'll do it. I just put it on there and I thought, this is a vision board, let's see if we can do it. And this is the first year I've really done a revenue goal. And then I've wrote creativity and joy, spread authenticity and comfort, and I want to create a safe space filled with happiness and acceptance. I want Katnipp to be a place where people come, they feel safe, they feel a sense of community, they don't feel judged. This is a no judgment space. It's about coziness, it's about happiness, it's about silliness, it's about expressing your true self, and that's what I want Katnipp to be to people. And I want to provide community and value and just a little bit of joy and silliness and put a smile on people's face. So this is my vision for 2025. We're really diving deeper into the Katnipp brand vision, and I feel like we're finally there, and we're finally getting to a space where my vision is coming to life after 9 years, guys. 9 years it took me. And then I went back, and this is my plan for the whole year. So first of all, I started off with product goals over here, and I've created like a to-do list of things that I actually want to do. So for example, if we click on to my Notions page, you will see that I had big goals and dreams here. and I put sweaters and clothing, and we managed to do it, and I ticked it off, and it was the first year we properly put this into action. Then I broke down my marketing goals. So I had this in mind as my product goals, then I broke down my marketing goals. Also going to do a full video about how I'm going to be marketing in 2025, so I will break this down in more depth, but I put down all my marketing goals. Then my bonus and fun goals I wrote down here: create a nice studio space and a filming space, which we're already starting to do. And then I also down here have studio goals. So they're all my product and marketing goals, and now I need to actually break them down even further. So now what I've done is broke them down into quarters, and each quarter has a vision board, and I'll show you exactly how I've used this if you haven't been watching my other vlogs, because I have this for 2024, and I've got quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3 and quarter 4. Again, I did originally this on Notion, as you can see here, but I just love how much more visual it is on Millernote. So I have converted my Notion page over to Millernote just because I like how it all connects with like mood boards, and it's easy. And that was my lamp. Sometimes I move these collections around, and sometimes, like this for example, it's got 2 collections in summer, I might just do one. And then what I've done here is added my mood boards. I won't build these out until I'm actually designing and doing them, which you'll see on these vlogs. Let's have a look, for example, at the most recent launch, the Chubby Reindeer. When you go into the plan, I have like a whole plan here that breaks it down. This is why I love Millernote, guys, because it's just so easy to navigate. Click into my collection and I'll have had like a palette in mind, maybe some inspo, and then I also have like the theme inspo as I'm jotting down my ideas. I also break down all my product items. And then here we have 2 designs. So these are where I go in and I have my mood board. So this was my mood board for my Coquette Christmas collection, and you can actually go look on my website and see how this came into fruition. So within these collections will be color palette, words, themes, mood boards, and then a product list where I have to tick it off, and it's just so nicely organized. A huge thank you to Millernote again for partnering up with this video. If you guys want to try it out, you can try it out completely for free, so you can sign up at Millernote through the link in my description. And that is my full year planned out, all my collections planned out, and all of the quarter planned out. So I know exactly now what I need to work on, and spending a whole day planning this out and moving things around has been a game changer. I really started to do this last year. Now originally, we've come a long way to get to this point. Originally, I actually used to do this in a paper book. So I'm just going to find the plans that I used to do back in the day, because it used to be, I think, in this sketchbook. Honestly, I have so many sketchbooks and plans that it just used to be all over the place. Actually, I don't even think it's in this one, but I honestly used to just do it in a physical planner, and I think this is really good for writing things down and brainstorming and stuff. Having a business plan like this laid out fully in quarters has changed the game. So this is how it literally used to be back in the day. Look at the state of this. So this was only in 2023. We have come a long way since this. I would sit down for the full day, just like I've done, and I'd write down winter, spring. So this is quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, quarter 5, extra Christmas things, and it's just not laid out as nicely as my Millernote board. How easy it is to visualize my whole year on one board and then go into the quarters. It's just so much easier. This is harder to kind of visually read through, and I would go through it and I just wouldn't look at this very often, but I would still plan my collections. How much better is it on my Millernote page than doing it like this? But this is how I originally used to do it, just in a sketchbook. So I'd write out my ideas, I'd write out the month and a date. What you could do is actually use your sketchbook like this as a place to plan, and then put it into like something like Millernote. Yeah, we've come a long way to business planning in 2 years, but this was when I used to have it. Look, this is 2024. So I did start by doing my big goals in 2024, and then I ended up sketching this all out, my structure, my product collections, and then I moved over to Notion and planned it on my Notion, and that's when things had started to go digital. And this year I've completely bypassed my planner and went straight into Millernote. Guys, Guys, if you told me that the words business plan would come out of my mouth 2-3 years ago, I just simply wouldn't have believed you, because it was not something that I personally felt comfortable with. It always sounded really big, really scary, and like proper corporate businessy. I don't know if I can explain what I mean, but honestly, having a business plan has actually changed my business in terms of focus and goals and achieving basically growth in the business. We've had kind of a roller coaster ride here at Katnipp, and I used to just kind of plan the product collections as and when I felt like it when I first started out, and I did that for the first 7 years of my business. So if that's you, do not worry about it, because that was me as well, like for like 7 whole years. And then I decided that I had like a notes app in my phone. And what I tend to do is I gather inspiration, particularly when I travel. I get so much inspiration, and also keeping an eye on trends, merchandise, things that I love. And I'm like, oh, I would love to make that into a Katnipp version where I would just like write all product ideas, all product collections. And I honestly have had so many collections in my brain that haven't come into fruition because I've had to move it to the next year. Prime example, this year, the Chubby Ghosties was meant to happen in Halloween, but I actually decided to not do that collection, and I moved that to this year. But now I've decided I'm actually probably going to move that to 2026. But I never really had really focused product goals or product collections like I do now, and I just used to kind of like, I remember releasing some Nutcracker stuff, and I released some Ginger and Spice stuff, and nothing was really cohesive. And the way I got my inspiration of having actual focused collections with my characters was actually through Disney, Hello Kitty, Japan, going to those places and seeing how the bigger businesses do it, and how I actually connected with bigger businesses and what I personally liked, and I loved to see their new collection they would bring out. For example, say you're a candle company, you could say, well, I want to do like wedding themed scent ready for the summer, because that's typically when weddings happen. Then if Halloween comes, you can do pumpkin themed scents, etc, etc, and you can plan your business with that. But I would highly recommend planning your business in quarters, because this has been something that has worked really well for us here at Katnipp, and also for me as well, because I know I'm not kind of just stumbling through the year thinking, well, now I need to do Halloween. I have a steady focus every quarter of what I'm working towards, and we develop it, focus on that collection, release it, and then we're ready for quarter 2, and we focus on that collection and release it. And it's given me such a sense of purpose and drive and excitement, because every collection feels like it's getting like better and better, and my characters are getting better and better. I personally have loved this way of planning, and it's been something that I've been doing since 2022, and now I feel like I'm really starting to get to grips with it. But it did take me 9 years. I've got something in my lip. It has took me 9 years to get to this point, guys. It wasn't like this at the beginning. I don't want you to come in and beat yourself up if you're not like this right now. Can do a business plan. It's really simple. And my final bit of advice is to stay flexible. Guys, sometimes things come up in life, and don't beat yourself up if plans don't work, because life happens and you have to change things and be flexible and move things around or cancel some collections. So be adaptable and be flexible. It's not always going to happen exactly how you plan it, but having the business plan there in place can help you so much, and it can help especially people like me who are a little bit more chaotic and a little more unorganized and unplanned, can help you remain focused and put your business in the right direction. Because honestly, before it, guys, I felt like I was just stumbling in the dark, and I was just grabbing what I could and releasing what I could, and it felt so chaotic, and it was really stressful for the first 7 years of my business because I had nothing to focus on. I was like, well, now it's Christmas and I need to create Christmas stuff. Now it's Halloween. Ended up creating a Halloween range and launching it a week before Halloween. If you want to actually see me put these plans into action, I've documented my full journey weekly for years now, since starting in my small bedroom, and I hope you enjoy following along on the journey and building Katnipp to see where we can take it. Please don't forget to subscribe if you liked it, and leave a comment below. It really helps this channel out. I'll see you in the next one. Alright then, thanks so much for watching. I love you.